Hey, how's it going? Welcome into the Dallas Weekly. I'm Jeremiah Long, your Director of Product and Digital Producer, and I am honored to be talking about the Dallas Cowboys draft selections for 2021 with two-time All-American, 12-year veteran of the NFL, first-round draft pick in the 1981 draft, Mr. Bobby Butler. How's it going, Mr. Butler?
Great, Jeremiah.
I'm doing awesome. So peep this out. Today, we're coming in and we're going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys and how their draft picks went and how it all went down. And we're going to just break it down. And I'm actually going to turn most of it over to Mr. Butler, he's the expert. He's played on the highest level. He knows the insides and outs. And one thing that I really love, and we were talking about this offline lots of different times, and we've talked about this lots of times before, and I heard you talking about this on your last Legends show. And if you guys haven't watched the Legends show, make sure you go watch our Bobby Butler's Legends show. It's another one we put together. Amazing people on that. Is the transitions from high school up through college, all the way into the pros, and how there's these little things that happen along the way that make it all come together and work. And these young men are those types of guys who have done that. They've done the work, and they have done that thing to get that threshold over to the highest level. Well, I'm going to flash the image for a second before I get us going. But everybody who's watching us here at the Dallas Weekly, first off, thank you so much. Like, share, subscribe, and tell everybody out about what we're doing here at the Dallas Weekly, because we have some huge things coming up. We're doing huge things now, as you already know, including our Business is Black campaign with the Mark Cuban companies. And we've got in our fall campaign, we're going to have some amazing things going on. And in June, we're going to have Black Music Month that's coming up, and we're going to do a special edition there. So make sure you hit us up, because we want to keep working with everybody in the community and keeping it real with that. So I wanted to flash this image real quick. This is the draft class. And then I want to ask you one question before I let you start breaking it down. So tell me, Bobby, these young men have something on their mind right now. It's about taking it to that next level.
Absolutely.
Now, tell me a little bit about that, because a lot of these guys are going to have to move, right? They're going to move to different places. They may not have known they were going to move until just a few days ago.
Right.
What is it like, that feeling of, you just found out, and you're going to have to move. You're going to have to change your life. Everything's going to the highest level. There's a lot of pressure. You got to stay healthy. Just tell me, what is that like? Because you're from the firsthand knowledge. Tell me.
These guys, Jeremiah, they are so excited right now. They are Dallas Cowboys, which is the most storied franchise of all the NFL franchises, right? It's America's team.
That's right.
And so they got drafted to America's team. That are filled with stars already. The number one owner in professional sports, Mr. Jerry Jones, right? And so they're excited. And so they're not really concerned right now with, man, I got to move from here to there. They're like, let's go. Wow. Because this opportunity is going to change their lives. This opportunity, and I pray for everyone that was drafted. I pray that they have success. And I also pray that they stay injury-free so they can live their dreams out to the fullest.
Absolutely. And we're all wishing that too. You guys, great job. You made it. You're there. Get a little bit of sleep, relax, have a nice meal, and then get ready for what's coming.
Get ready, because it's coming. It's coming. It's coming.
Well, without further ado, let's talk about these young men. The Dallas Cowboys 2021 draft class, presented here by the Dallas Weekly, which is great. We're, the home of Dallas, and presented by a number one draft pick himself, who knows exactly what was going on through these draft classes. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Bobby Butler and tell us a little more about these guys and break it down for us.
Well, good. Awesome. This is exciting for me. I was drafted back in 1981, a whole nother life ago, but I have not missed the NFL draft since. I loved watching kids. I remember what it was like for me being a first-round draft choice. But the Dallas Cowboys had some needs. Their needs, first of all, they wanted to get a cornerback. They wanted to get a linebacker. They wanted to get a safety, right? And so they got everything they needed today. They started out with Mr. Michael Parsons, a linebacker out of Penn State. And Penn State is known, Jeremiah, to be linebacker university. I mean, they've got a strong tradition of great linebackers. This guy is a sideline-to-sideline player, which is what you need in the middle. But here's the neat thing. He is so fast, he can play all three linebacker positions. So not only can he play in the middle and be your play caller and lead, he can play outside linebacker if you need him to do that. So he's going to be a great pick for them, right? Great pick for them. And then number 2, now I like this guy, Mr. Kelvin Joseph out of University of Kentucky. Yeah. I first saw him play last year against Tennessee. He had a pick 6 in that game, right? But then the most impressive thing I've seen, I saw him last year, was the fact that when they played Alabama, he shut some good receivers down. He shut them down. Now, a lot of people think he's a little bit, got too much mouth and he talks to them. Man, it goes with the territory. He's a confident young man. And when you play cornerback in the NFL, you better be fully confident. Because it's not like college where you're going to face 1 or 2 great guys the whole year. Every week, each team's got 2 or 3 guys that can take you. So I think he'll meet the challenge. He's very fit. He's got that swag. I like him. And then we got Odigy Zuwa, defensive tackle at UCLA. This guy, when I watch him play, Jeremiah, this is what I say. Penetration, penetration, and then penetration. He's always in the backfield making plays.
Yep.
Sacking the quarterback, tackling running backs for losses. He's got great hands up front. He knows how to get offensive linemen off balance that's trying to block him. And next thing you know, he's standing in the backfield waiting on you. I think he's a great pick in the 3rd round. And then Chauncey Golston, defensive end out of Iowa, right? I like him too. I mean, he great hands at the line of scrimmage. You know, when you got defensive linemen, you know, it's more than just physicality. It's more than just being what we call a 2 technique, where I can take you on head up and just push you in the backfield. No, it's about power. It's about making yourself skinny, getting in gaps. It's about hands to get guys off balance and getting them off and going making plays, right? And you got to do it with the quickness, right? They did a great job up front on defense with these kind of guys. And then in the 3rd round, they picked this guy. This was a shocking pick for them. Mm-hmm. Nashon Wright. Nashon Wright. Listen at this. 6'4", 188-pound cornerback who's a raw talent out of Oregon State. Yeah. But at 6'4", he still runs a 4.40. So he may be a project, but they got something to work with him, right? All right, they got something to work with him. All right, and so Jabril Cox, linebacker out of LSU, the most versatile player in this draft for them. This guy, I mean, he's a linebacker. He can play outside linebacker. He can play strong safety. He can play free safety. The way I see him play, he is a defensive playmaker.
Yeah.
This guy is always coming up with the ball. He's going to be a difference maker. I mean, one of the things we want to always do on defense is turn the ball over. You know, the team that win the turnover margin, they're going to win football games most of the time. Well, this guy here, he transferred from a small college, and at that small college, he even played some nickel and dime back. So think about that. When you see him making plays, he's very versatile, right? And then the guy who I love his value is offensive tackle Josh Ball. Now, I project this guy to be a starter in the next 2 to 3 years, right? He's out of Marshall University. He's going to be a great pro, right? He has a full package from feet quickness. You watch his footwork. See, the one thing about football, I don't care what position you play. If you got great feet, I mean, if you got great footwork where you don't get off balance and you can move your feet and keep your feet under your shoulders and things like that, he's got it. And he's quick and he's got a great punch for offensive tackle. I project him in the next 2-3 years to be a starter for the Dallas Cowboys. And they got him in the 4th round. That's a great value, right? Now, this guy, Simi Fehoko, wide receiver out of Stanford, it's a big guy, right? Mm-hmm. 6'4", big guy, He can make plays down the field. He's got speed. And I go, why? Right? It has nothing to do with his ability, but they got all the Ferraris and Porsches right now, and Lamb and all these receivers that they got. Why draft a receiver there? Give me another offensive lineman. We need help. We need depth on the O-line. Yeah. But maybe somebody can come in. I think he's good enough to make the roster, but he's going to be way back. He's going to be way back getting in the lineup, getting playing time. Right? And then in the 6th round, they drafted Quentin Bohanna, defensive tackle out of Kentucky. Now, what I like about this guy, he's what I call a two-gapper. He's a big-bodied guy, right, who's going to plug up holes, who's going to keep the offensive lineman on the line of scrimmage, and he's going to stuff things, right? He's going to make – if you're trying to run the ball at the middle, you're going to see running backs just fall at the line of scrimmage because he's not budging. He's not going anywhere. 327 pounds. Great run stuffer, great two-gapper. And then they also drafted Israel in the 6th round, Israel Makuma, 6'3", 205 cornerback out of South Carolina. This young man can play football, right? Yeah. I've seen him last year. He had 2 picks against Georgia. He took one to the house, pick 6. Long strider. But I wouldn't be surprised, Jeremiah, if we see him taking some looks at free safety.
Yeah.
Right? I think he's going to be their versatile defensive back out of this group. Those other guys are going to play corner. But I think Israel may find himself not only playing corner in some slot, but he might find himself playing, a little safety. Very physical guy, great ball skills. And then in the 7th round, I think they got a great pick in Matt Forniak, right? Mm-hmm. Out of Nebraska. One of the things I can tell you, when you look at these college players, there are some schools that traditionally do things well, right? If you want cornerbacks, you better find somebody at Florida State. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
If you want offensive linemen, you better find somebody at Nebraska, Wisconsin, Iowa, Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Michigan. They're going to always put out these big guys. And now in every category, you got to also say Alabama, right? Because they got it all, right?
Right.
And so Matt was a great pick. This guy's got a solid body, right? If you look at his body, you watch his tape and you watch his body, man, he's solid.
Yeah.
And when you have offensive guards, you want those guys to be solid and strong and be able to push two gappers like Mr. Quentin Bohanna. Right? And so I think the Dallas Cowboys had a really good draft. Their first 6 picks were all defensive picks, right? Everybody going, wait a minute, what are you doing? Right? Well, we know they need a lot of help on the defensive side of the ball, right? I would have liked to see them take an offensive lineman or two a little higher.
Yeah.
Right? To kind of balance it out. But they know what they're doing, and they know they need most of their help on defense. And so that's going to help the Cowboys. Now, here's what we do know. If Dak Prescott is in the lineup, the Dallas Cowboys is going to score a lot of points.
Yeah.
We know that. We've seen that. Now, what the Dallas Cowboys need to do is stop other offenses from scoring as many points as their offense, right? And so, watching this draft, that was the method to their madness. We can score points, but we got to get some defenders in here that's going to stop us, that's going to help us stop the opponents from outscoring our offense. So overall, Jeremiah, I get a Dallas Cowboys a B+ in their draft choices. These guys right here are good football players, and they are really going to help the Dallas Cowboys get back in the hunt to where they belong.
Okay, hold on a second. Whew, that's a huge draft class right there. So tell me this, out of the class, how do you think that the Cowboys did? Did they get what they needed? Were they able to get the weapons that they needed? Did they get the picks that they really should have gotten?
Well, at the end of the day, a cornerback was their biggest need. They drafted 3, right? A linebacker was their second need. They drafted the guy who is the best linebacker in the class, Micah Parsons, right? Who's a beast, around a 4.3 40, and weighs 250, right? So they got a monster in the room, I'm telling you right now. And then they got a great corner. I think Kelvin Joseph is going to be a great corner in the NFL. You just remember Kelvin Joseph, he didn't start out at Kentucky. He transferred to Kentucky from LSU, right? So he's a big-time playmaker, big-time baller. He's going to help them immediately. And then with some of these defensive linemen, and then I'm going to tell you the guy I really like, Jabril Cox. Man, he's such a great athlete. And so it's gonna be good. I think these guys that they got is going to really help them this year. I can't wait to see them get in camp and get going.
I'm still muted.
There you go.
Yeah, sorry, that was like they were trying to call me up for the draft class. They're like, we have one more pick next year.
Oh man,
it's going to be in the last round, but we want you. And I was like, I'm going to have to get in better shape.
They can use another corner, so they give you a year to get in shape, Jeremiah. You can do it. You can do it.
That's the perfect place for me to be in a football game is the corner.
There you go. There you go.
The stands.
The corner
yeah.
right?
Well, the final question I have for you for this one, as we round out, is: do you have any final thoughts on this class, and is there any advice you'd like to give to the guys?
Well, I just say to any guy who get drafted, man, put all your money away. Don't go crazy with your money because the average career is 3.5 years in the National Football League, and so take your money and save it. Make sure you put that money away. Enjoy a little bit of it, Jeremiah, but don't go crazy. Don't go crazy. Don't start having parties where you, having all your buddies over and you buying all this stuff and doing this, and everywhere you go, you're paying for the tab. Don't do that. Put yourself on a budget, and remember, none of you guys, all you guys are millionaires now. None of you guys have ever made $30,000 in your life. So always remember to live within means, get a budget and sack that money away, because if you only play 3 years, this can help you have a great start in life. It's not going to retire you. It can help you with a great start in life, right? So make sure you balance that out and be careful. Keep your eyes open for the sharks. They're coming.
That's really amazing and excellent advice from the source. So I really appreciate that, Mr. Butler. Everybody watching, this has been our recap of the Dallas Cowboys draft class for 2021. I am the producer, Jeremiah Long, here at the Dallas Weekly, and I've been joined by two-time All-American, first-round draft pick in the 1981 draft, 12-year veteran of the NFL, Mr. Bobby Butler. I'm truly, truly blessed to be on the air with you week after week as we bring amazing, amazing shows, and not just, draft class shows. Mr. Butler, he brings in some of the really cool and poignant guests that really bring in, I just love to hear it. We go to the colleges, we go to the high school and to the pros, and you've got great people in all of those different realms. And when we hear great stories from all those different levels, I really enjoy it. And I know our audience really enjoys it. And we can really tell because you, the audience, have been sharing our stuff so much and putting our stuff out there. And the last thing I would tell you is if you love podcasts, to also look up 100 Yards of Football. That's our podcast. And we put out a new podcast pretty much every day. And thanks and shout out to our whole team for putting that together and keeping the engine running with that. So for everybody watching, thank you so much from the Dallas Weekly, our whole staff. I am Jeremiah Long, the producer, and this has been our draft class recap for the Dallas Cowboys with Bobby Butler. We'll see you guys on the next one.